internet, and today's video is going to be a book opinion, this time on The Mermaid Sister by Carrie Ann Noble. This book has a lot to do with introspective ideas, emotions, and a lot to do with grief. Now, the reason why I say that this book has a great conversation on grief is because of my deductions based on the author. Now, when you first open this book, you might notice that a lot of books have dedication pages. This book in particular, Noble dedicates her book to her sister, who she states is laying in the arms of her true father. Father here is capitalized, and that usually signifies God the Father as the Christian God. And people tend to say that, of course, when a family member is deceased. So I suspect that this book, dedicated to her sister, also has a lot to do about grief. This is a very light and cute read that happens to be very introspective and has a lot to say on letting go of someone. So in this book, we follow the character Clara. Now, Clara is going through some problems, one being that her sister is transforming into a mermaid, and she has to take her sister down to the ocean, and they live on this mountain. And she is very sad about this. She doesn't want her sister to turn into a mermaid. She wants her sister to stay human and stay with her. And it talks a lot about Clara's struggles to let go of her sister, to understand this is what her sister wants. This is what she really wants from life. She wants to become a mermaid. She does not want to be human. Her natural form is to be a mermaid, not to be a human. And Clara struggles with that idea for a lot of the book. What I love about it is it's a lovely send-off. It's a way to show you how it hurts to let go of someone, but also the selfish feelings that go along with it. Clara is very introspective in her nature, and I love when characters are very self-aware. Clara is aware of the fact that a lot of the reason why she doesn't want to let go of her sister is because of how painful it would be to her herself. Not so much that her sister is going to be losing something here, but Clara herself is going to be losing her best friend. That is what saddens her. And Clara realizes that her reasons for wanting her sisters to stay human, despite her sister's own wishes, are selfish, which is something I can honestly commend. A lot of the reasons why we deal so heavily with grief is in part that we are very selfish. We don't like the idea of letting go of someone we care about, no less what the other person feels. So I don't know what happened in Noble's life, but I think it was a great way to take her pain and to put it into a character and show how introspective and make everyone aware of how it may feel and how you can also deal with that issue. There's also a lot of things other than just that going on in this story of Clara's emotions. She's not only scared because she doesn't want to let go of her sister, she's not only grieving because she knows she's soon going to lose her sister. Even if her sister's still alive, she's now at the bottom of the sea while Clara lives at the top of a mountain. So they are not likely going to see each other again, or at least not very often. And she is scared for what her sister's situation may mean for her. If her sister is now turning into a mermaid years later, what does that mean from her? What does her past mean for her future? Will she transform into something unhuman? So it's a lot to do with emotions. It's a lot to do with self-awareness and an introspective feel. And that's what I really enjoyed. Now, there's a lot else going on. This book really plays out like a fairy tale of sorts. It does heavily focus some on the introspective nature, never overflowing you or becoming too dark or too heavy on you. It is still very light and very cute to read. It's just very nice to read it. I think there's something therapeutic to read a character who's also going through a lot in life. They're also dealing with emotions, trying to figure out what these emotions need, and that's how I found it. I think writing this book, maybe for Noble, was therapeutic based on her dedication, and perhaps for the reader it can also be therapeutic. The way that Noble discusses emotions and how one deals with them and the reasons behind those emotions really opens yourself up to why do we feel the way we do about things. And it can be very therapeutic for anyone going through a series of emotions, even if those emotions aren't grief or jealousy or fear. It just helps you. It's very therapeutic. I believe that's part of the reason why we love stories, right? We love stories because it takes us away from something. We get to worry about someone else's emotions for a while, someone else's hardships and feelings and all of their problems rather than focusing on our own. And Clara takes a different way to do that. She takes us out of it by studying her own emotions. So instead of us constantly focusing on what's wrong in our lives, we get to see Clara and what troubles her in her life, and she's very aware of what's troubling her. So it makes it even more therapeutic in that sense, because it's not a compiling of action that distracts you this time, but a fact that someone else's emotions are distracting you this time. So The Mermaid Sister by Carrie Ann Noble is a very light, it is a very beautiful read. If you have any time where you're going through a lot of emotions and you just want to sort those emotions out, I suggest you pick up this book. It's very helpful for that. It just is very light, it's very cute, and it does have some introspective nature, and it's not bombarding you with actions, but in this instead with a girl who's just as confused as you are about how she should feel about things, and it is very therapeutic. At least I found it so. It's also a very short read, as you can see. If you like anything that you've seen here today or what you see on my channel regularly, subscribe down below and ring the little bell to be notified every time I make a new video. Down in the box below is links to my social media platforms. I want to remind you that I do have a blog which I write about books that is also linked below. If you want more book opinions more frequently, go check that out, because I am able to post on that a lot more frequently than I am here. It's unfortunate, but it is true. I can find times during classes to write book opinions, but I'm not always able to video them at a consistent basis like I am there. If you're impatient like I am at a lot of times, that is also an option. Comment down below if you have any other thoughts. Have you ever read this book before? Do you think this concept is good? Do you think it's too much for a book to try to do? What are your feelings? And comment down below and let me know. So that is it for this book opinion. Goodbye, Internet.